Hey everyone, what is going on? And welcome back to another meta guide. We are almost through the season. We have less than a month left, and then we'll get a new season at the beginning of December. But today we're taking a look at the Ultra Premier Cup. Now before we begin, guys, YouTube tells me that about 50% of you are actually not subscribed. So let's change that right now. If you can go ahead and hit the subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. It costs you nothing. It takes a second. If you're not subscribed, I would really appreciate it. But nonetheless, thank you so much for watching the videos. It means a lot to me. So the Ultra Premier Cup. So we had the Ultra Premier Classic this season, and I know it could be a little bit confusing. I'm going to be here to help you out. So the Ultra Premier Classic is when you cannot use any legendaries or any mythical Pokemon or any Pokemon above level 40, so no XL Pokemon. With the Ultra Premier Cup, not the Classic version, you can't use any Legendaries and Mythicals, but you can go above level 40, so you can use XL Pokemon. So this is going to be XL City. I hate to say it, but it is going to be XL City in this meta. There are some Pokemon that you don't need to use XLs on, and we'll talk about those, but yeah, let's just go ahead and dive right into it. So for the S rank, we do have Trevenant. Now, Trevenant is an XL Pokemon, but you could get away with using a like a high IV one instead, and it can get to like 2500 without going the XL route if that's your only avenue. But we did have Phantom spawning during the Halloween event, so maybe you got enough, maybe you could build it. Because of the Halloween event, probably more accessible towards trainers, but yeah, definitely going to be ranked number 1, definitely going to be the best Pokemon in this meta. You're going to see Trevenant all the time. Next up, we do have Steelix. Steelix with the Dragon Tail, going to be really powerful. It has Psychic Fangs, it has Crunch, it has Earthquake. Now, you're definitely probably going to see the Psychic Fangs. It's a great bait move. You could see Crunch, you could see Earthquake. Up battle both movesets with the Psychic Fangs, so it really could go either way, to be honest. I don't know which one I prefer. I mean, if you want to hit the fairy users, Earthquake is probably the way to go, but Crunch is strong against the ghost types as well, so both movesets are good. Then we have Galarian Stunfisk. Of course, you want a Hundo, best buddied for this. It's really tanky in the Ultra League. It can take hits for days. It's really powerful. A great Pokemon. Definitely highly ranked. Then we have Swampert, so a non-XL Pokemon for you. And Swampert or Shadow Swampert going to be really powerful for the Ultra Premier Cup. And yeah, non-XL one. So it does require the Community Day move of Hydro Cannon, so keep that in mind. But it's a great Pokemon all around. Then we have Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is another, well, it is an XL one, but you could use a Perfect and get up to 2500. Where you wouldn't need any XL candy if you happen to have that. And if you do have it, that's great. You could use it. Obviously, the XL one going to be better because it's going to be tankier. But it's still, I think, a Perfect would still do well if you don't have the XL candies. Then we have Scrafty. Scrafty does have to be XL'd, and it's a great Pokemon with Counter, Power Punch, and Foul Play. Really tanky, really strong. Alola Ninetales, definitely the best Charm user, in my opinion, in this meta. Charm, Weather Ball, Psyshock, you've seen it plenty of times, right? So that's going to be the S rank tier, and now we have the A tier. It's going to be Wolverine. Wolverine is still amazing. Yes, it was nerfed, but it's still really good. It takes you 5 Powder Snows to get the Icicle Spear every single time. Before, it took you 5 to the first one, and then 4 to the next one, and so on like that. So 5, 4, 5. Things like that. Now it just takes 5 every time. It's still really good though. It really is, and it's going to do really well. If it wasn't nerfed, I guess it would be in the S tier, but still, I mean, it's still really powerful. And a Pokemon I'm sure you will see. Then we have, I almost said Kommo-o, but it's actually kommo-o, the final evolution with that Dragon Tail, a really powerful Pokemon, a non-XL one as well, but a really powerful Dragon Tail user. Going to be doing a lot, as long as the Pokemon is not resisting it, it's going to be doing a lot of damage, and it gets to the moves really fast. Double is another great one. Now, if you played the Wooloo Spotlight Hour years ago, unfortunately I didn't, but if you did, maybe you have enough XLs for this. I do not. I think I have like 20 XLs, maybe 25, something like that, but I don't have many XL candy for Double, so you're not going to see me use it, but it's going to be a pretty tanky Pokemon. It's going to be doing well against the Trevenant with Payback, right? If you choose Payback, it also has Wild Charge. You definitely want the Body Slam. So Double Kick, definitely a great Pokemon. Yeah, a really strong Pokemon. I don't know how many trainers will have this, but you might see one here or there. Then we have Dragonite. So Dragonite did get a buff with Superpower, right? So Superpower on Dragonite. And yeah, Dragon Breath or Dragon Tail, superpower, Dragon Claw, really strong Pokemon, but it is really frail as well, especially the Shadow variant if you go that route. And then we have Obstagoon. Obstagoon is another great counter user, right? Yeah, going to be doing really well. Of course, you know Obstagoon. Then we have Drapion. Drapion is known as a great safe swap. I absolutely love Drapion. I really do. I actually hit Legend with Drapion last season in the Ultra League, but it was the Open Ultra League, but still the Ultra League, and it's a great Pokemon. Then we have the B tier. We have Sirfetch'd, another fighter. I do think Scrafty is better, but Sirfetch'd is really frail, but it is really powerful. It hits like a truck. So if you can get off some strong moves, if you have shield advantage, Sirfetch'd is going to do well for you. Then we have Mandibuzz, super tanky. You could go the Air Slash or the Snarl variant, but I mean, Mandibuzz is just a tanky Pokemon, and it's a great Pokemon. We've seen it time and time again, right? And then we have Greedent. So Greedent is another tanky Pokemon with Bullet Seed, Body Slam, Crunch. Yep, again, can take moves for days. It can even threaten Pokemon like Scrafty. It's not going to beat Scrafty necessarily, but it could still get it relatively low. It's just such a great tanky Pokemon. And I did play the Skovet Spotlight Hour, so I do have enough Greedent XL candy because I knew Greedent was going to be at least decent, whereas Dubwool at the time was not. That's why I played the Skovet Spotlight Hour. So I do have one. So if you have one, it's a great Pokemon. Galvantula is another good one, right? Yeah, I mean, it's another good one. It does have to watch out for the ground types. Galarian Stunfisk does wall it, but it's a pretty squishy Pokemon, but it's not a bad one. Then we have Snorlax, a non-XL one. Snorlax is a great safe swap. So if you want to use Snorlax, you could definitely use Snorlax as a safe swap. I think it's better as the safe swap. Then we have Talonflame. You know Talonflame. Now, Fletchling, of course, had a community day. So, you know, Incineroar, or not Incineroar, what are we talking about? Incinerate. Incinerate with the Brave Bird as well as the Flame Charge. Really powerful Pokemon. You do want it perfect. You do want it XL'd. But again, because it had the community day, maybe you have it. Hopefully you do. Then we have Meganium. Meganium is actually one I want to try. I have a really good ranked Shadow Meganium. I don't have enough XLs for it. I don't know how many XLs I need, actually. I'll have to check. I know I don't have quite enough. But we'll see. We'll see how many I need. But Meganium is a Pokemon I personally want to try, and I think it's good. I really do think it's good for the Ultra League. But that's going to be the SA and B tier for you, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the other options. We have a couple fighters. We have Lucario and Machamp. Machamp is pretty good. Lucario probably not the best, but it's another option for you if you don't have like the Scrafty or the Obstagoon. You probably have your Obstagoon because we had a Zigzagoon community day, but it's another option. I don't think you'll see this Pokemon, to be honest, but you know, it's there for you. Escavalier is another counter user. It's not a fighting type, but it is a counter user. Escavalier as a non-XL, same with Machamp, is a good Pokemon. So if you're looking for non-XL fighters, I think Machamp and Escavalier can do well. And then we have Miltank with the new rollout body slam really fast. Do you have the XLs for it? I actually don't even know how many XLs I have. No idea if I'm close or not. No idea if I have a good one. I haven't checked, but you know, pretty good, pretty solid Pokemon in this meta. Then we have Abomasnow, of course. Abomasnow has been really popular in the past. Kind of fell out a little bit since Walrein became a thing. I still think like Walrein is better than Abomasnow, right? Even though Walrein was nerfed. But, you know, Abomasnow is still a good ice type. Maybe you could do something with double ice with Abomasnow. But, you know, pretty good Pokemon, not too bad. And another thing about Abomasnow is it could be XL, but it doesn't have to be, right? If you have like a really high IV one. Then we have Tentacruel. Tentacruel is the new addition for this season. It does have Scald now, so Poison Jab, Scald, and either Acid Spray or Sludge Wave. Maybe it's a surprise factor of Sludge Wave. I don't know if it's necessarily a surprise factor nowadays, but really, really good. Then we have another Dragon Tail user similar to kommo-o. I do think kommo-o is better in this situation, but hey, you never know. I mean, this is not a bad one at all. Then we have Jellicent. Jellicent does have to be XL'd, so really strong Pokemon. Not as strong as it used to be because we have all these dog types, right? We have Trevenant, which is a ghost type. It's not a dog type, but we also have Obstagoon. We have Mandibuzz, Umbreon. I mean, it's still a good Pokemon, but a little bit pushed down a little bit, right? Then we have Umbreon. So Umbreon is really tanky. Think Mandibuzz, right? Umbreon is a great Pokemon for this meta. I mean, you could bump it up a little bit. It's definitely a pretty solid Pokemon. Really, really tanky. Then we have Kafagrigus as a ghost type. Kafagrigus could be doing okay, but there's better ghost types like Trevenant, for example. And there's several dark types that you do have to watch out for. But if you want to go, well, I guess Kafagrigus is not super spicy, but maybe a little bit. But you can go that route. Then we have Skunk Tank. Skunk Tank needs XLs, but I do not have enough XLs for a Skunk Tank. I think I have some decent ranked ones. I just don't have the XLs for it, so you're not going to see it on my team. But I do think a team with like the Drapion and Skunk Tank in the back could do really well. I just don't have a Skunk Tank. And then we have Berserker. So Berserker, of course, we've seen Daniel, who is an amazing content creator, use Berserker a lot. Heavy damage, right? You know what I'm talking about if you watch Daniel. Heavy damage. Berserker is a really, really cool Pokemon. Shadow Claw. I mean, it's really good. It's Shadow Claw, Foul Play, Close Combat, right? Pretty good Pokemon. So that's going to be the Ultra Premier Cup for you. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to the solid team options. So the first team going to be Talonflame, Trevenant, and Wolverine. So not much to say here. I mean, we've seen this team even in the Open Ultra League, right? It does well there. The backline obviously has to watch out for Obstagoon. But to be fair, I mean, Talonflame doing well because it's resisting the counters against Obstagoon. Plus, Wolverine can still fire back with Icicle Spears. And Seed Bombs from Trevenant. So it's kind of like a team effort if it's in the back. But I think you can handle an Obstagoon with this team. It's just a safe team. It's probably one of the highly ranked teams. And yeah, just such a great team. Even though the Wolverine was nerfed, I still think it's really good. So next up, we have another team, Alolan Ninetales, in the lead with Galarian, Stunfisk, and Trevenant. So pretty solid team here. Of course, you have two answers. You have an answer in the lead to like a fighting type, an answer in the lead. And answer in the back to a fighting type. Galarian Stunfisk is weak to fighting. But I do think it could I think this is a pretty solid team, pretty strong team. Then we have Nidoqueen Double Dark. Now you could use an Umbreon instead of the Mandibuzz. I'm thinking Air Slash on this Mandibuzz, but if you want to go Umbreon, you can do that. The reason I'm going Air Slash is just so like you do better against the fighters, right? But with Mandibuzz, at least you're not weak to fighting, right? Whereas Umbreon would be. And of course, you're weak to Charm in the back, really weak to it. But Nidoqueen in the lead will do well. I mean, you guys have seen Nidoqueen Double Dark. I mean, it's nothing new, right? There's other options. You could also go with an Obstagoon. I like the Mandibuzz or Umbreon option. Scrafty is a great Pokemon. Then we have another team. We have the Trevenant with Drapion or Shadow Drapion as a safe swap. I love Shadow Drapion. So it's a great safe swap. On my Shadow Drapion, I've been running Aqua Tail and Crunch. You could go Sludge Bomb because you don't have another poison type on this team. But, great run. I mean, a regular Drapion would work as well, but great team all around. In the lead, you're going to be strong against fighting. Backline, Wolverine is weak to fighting. Drapion is not weak to fighting, but, I mean, the counters run right through it. But, basically, if you want to lure out a fighter with Drapion, that's definitely the way to go. And then obviously, I mean, the backline going to struggle, right, against Scrafty. If you're worried about Scrafty, actually, this whole team, I'm not going to lie, does struggle against Scrafty. It is a team effort. If you're worried about Scrafty, Sludge Bomb on this Drapion would be doing more damage. So probably going that route is probably the way to go. But this team will struggle against Scrafty. But again, it's not impossible to beat. But yeah, let's go ahead and move it to the next one. We have Galarian Stunfisk into Double Dragon. I wanted to try out a Double Dragon team with kommo-o and Dragonite with the new superpower. And of course the backline super weak to Fairy, also weak to Ice. Galarian Stunfisk going to do well against the Fairy types. It's also going to do well against the Ice types. Wolverine is a little bit of a threat because of Earthquake, but the Rock Slides still do a lot. So you got to keep that in mind. So pretty cool team. They wanted to try something with Double Dragon. And then we have a non-XL team. I wanted to put a non-XL team in this list for you. We have Swampert in the lead with Snorlax as a safe swap, and then using Machamp in the lead. Of course, if you have one of the XL ones, or you have a better fighting type or something, or a better Pokemon, you could substitute them out. But I think this is a pretty good team. I mean, Swampert going to be doing well, of course, against a lot of the ground types. Snorlax is going to be resisting the Shadow Claw, the Shadow Ball from the Trevenant, which will be really common. To be fair, I guess this team, if Trevenant is in the lead, is going to be very, very difficult because Machamp is also weak to Trevenant. It's not weak to it, but your moves are resisted. So if you want to, you could substitute this team and maybe put the Snorlax in the lead. I do love Snorlax as a safe swap, but maybe Snorlax in the lead could work a little bit better here because the Trevenant would be a threat to this team, and Trevenant is going to be everywhere, so keep that in mind. It's kind of hard, I'm not going to lie, to build a non-XL team because XLs are absolutely going to dominate this meta, in my opinion. I guess it depends on what elo range you're at, but I do think XLs will, for the most part, be really well. I mean, minus exceptions, like Swampert obviously is really good, and then some other Pokemon that you could use at a non-XL, but for the most part, it's going to be filtered with XL Pokemon. But you either have the Ultra Premier Cup or the Open Ultra League, which is also going to be filled with XLs. So if you don't have the XLs built, I feel for you, I really do. But that's really the way things are going to go right now. I mean, but you know, there's other Pokemon you could use at a non-XL, like Escavalier, which is really good. Escavalier I do really like in this meta. It's going to struggle though against some Pokemon like Talonflame and Trevenant, right? But either way, that's going to be it for this video, guys. I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a good day. Bye.